go. Another morning with my chickens. Came to see if they need food and collect the eggs. Like I suspected, they're running low on food, so I'm going to refill it. Once I'm done refilling it, I give it a little shake so the food can come out on the bottom and they can eat from here. They have enough water. Let's go see the eggs today. Hi. Hi, Lily. Oh, perfect. 4 eggs, like they're supposed to be. Well, I took the eggs and somehow Lily knows how to come inside the coop. It's okay, she keeps me company. This is the brand of chicken feed that I give to my chicken. I buy it online, and one bag of 40 pounds lasts me about 1.5 months, if not more sometimes. It depends on how much they eat, but with 4 chicken and 1 bag, I go for very, very long time. And this food is really good, and it has chrysanthemum flour inside, so their yolk is really vibrant color, and it has a lot of protein, which is really good. Today I would like to give everyone a tour of the plants that I have in my backyard, the vegetable plants. I want to show you all the plants that I planted this year, starting with winter melon or jali. It's a Bangladeshi vegetable. I'm growing it this year to give it to my son, and I really like to cook meat curry with this vegetable. And of course, like every year, I like to plant eggplants. Oh, look at that. Japanese beetles. These are really bad for the eggplant plant. They eat the leaves, suck the juices from the stem, and your plant dies slowly, and the crops is really small, and they don't grow as big as they're supposed to. Let me clean them. I put them on the ground and I smash them. Let's back to the tour. This eggplant is called Millionaire. It grows, you can see on the leaves I have bug damage. This eggplant grows long and has a very beautiful purple color. This one is almost ready to pick. As you can see, they're delicious and they have very little seed inside. And Jason, he loves to eat these eggplants, just stir fry with some curry or stir fry with some beef. This is a serrano chili plant. I thought the chili is gonna be not too spicy, but they were quite spicy. This is a habanero plant. I plant lots of chilies every year since I cannot find them in the store, so I plant them myself. That's a cayenne pepper. I bought all these chili plants from Walmart. They were on sale, like $1 per plant, so I grabbed 4 of those. This is the habanero. No, I'm sorry. I think it's jalapeno. Yeah. And this is the key lime. I bought it online from Amazon, and it has lots of flour and also some fruit on it. I love lime. My husband loves lime. We love to eat with Mexican food, so I hope they grow very well. That's a Thai chili, small but very spicy. And that is another habanero pepper. I love habanero. I love the mango habanero sauce. This is another eggplant. This is called, I think, dragon eggs. It grows white and round shaped eggplant. These eggplants are a little tricky. This is called patio baby, and they're really small. You might think, oh, they're gonna grow bigger, but no, that's the actual size, and you have to collect them when they're small, and they taste delicious in curry. This is the Italian basil, and I love it. It smells really good, and it grows really fast, and if the sun is right, it's gorgeous. This is an amaranth spinach or data. Actually, I didn't plant it. It just grew naturally because I planted some last year and the seeds went all over my garden, and they're growing everywhere. As you can see on the ground and in every pots that I have, they're just growing like that. This is a bell pepper. It's called California Wonder. It grows very big and juicy peppers. Another bell pepper. This is a tomato plant. This is a grape tomato plant, if I'm not wrong. I like to plant small tomato plants, like they grow small tomatoes like cherry and grape. I like to eat them with pasta. Another winter melon, and this is another chili plant. And this is my pride and joy, my figs tree. I bought them about a month ago from the farmer's market where I bought my chickens. They grow very dark and sweet figs. I don't know if they're gonna grow any fig this year. I just planted them, but maybe next year or the year after they're gonna start growing. I planted them on the pot because I want to grow them a little bigger and stronger before I put them on the ground. These are Malabar spinach or puy shak. Um, I planted many seeds, but only six came up. Yeah, only six of them. But it's okay. I only eat them. My husband liked them very much, so it's good for me. Six plant is more than enough. I have some cilantro plant and some parsley in here because the heat came up. They started seeding, so they're already growing flowers and seeds on them. And this parsley overwintered. This is from a year ago, and this year it doesn't have many parsley leaf left, but it's growing flowers and seeds, which I'm gonna collect and plant next year again. This is another dragon egg eggplant that grows white and round eggplants. This is a rosemary plant. Actually, I bought it last year when I used to live in the apartment still with my husband, and it's growing perfectly even after 1.5 years, 2 years actually. This is another chili plant. It's a cayenne pepper. I have many of those. I just love hot, spicy chili. You cannot eat a good curry dish without a spicy chili. This is another tomato plant. This tomato plant is called Chef Choice. It's supposed to grow big and juicy slicing tomatoes. This is lemon tree. It's called Meyer lemon, which is a mix of lemon and orange. It grows very juicy fruits and they're not very sour. They're sweet and sour and have a very orangey smell to it. If you make lemonade with these lemons, it's absolutely delicious and you will love it. And of course in winter I cannot leave it outside since it gets really cold. I bring it inside the house. I have some mint on a pot and more Thai chilies. It's growing perfectly. It's gorgeous. They have lots of flowers, lots of blossom. This is another big slicing tomato plant as well. They grow really big, so I'm looking forward to those. This is thyme. I planted those like really small. It has only 1 or 2 stems, just like that small. And within 1 year, it thrived and it covered all of the pot and it just kept growing. And it dies in winter, come back in summer, glorious and luscious. And they smell amazing. And I love to put on everything, meat, chicken, fish. It's that good. This is okra. I planted many okra plants. Unfortunately, only I think 4 survived, but it's okay. 4 okra plants are enough for my family because once they start producing, they produce a lot and you cannot finish them all. This is water spinach or palon shak, my husband's favorite vegetable. I just like to cook it stir fry with some soy sauce and onion. Some more patio baby eggplant and another bell pepper. Yes, that's a bell pepper. That's another California wonder. And here I have another big slicing tomato plant, another okra plant which is growing beautifully, and more Thai chili plants. It's getting a little bit of shade because of the okra, so I pulled it out so I can get more sunlight and grow bigger. I planted 3 bitter melon plants. Actually I planted many more seeds, but only 3 came out. But the 3 that came out is thriving, doing very good. They're growing and I can see flower buds in them already. I cannot wait to eat bitter melon this year. This tomato is supposed to be black in color, very sweet and juicy. My first time planting it. It's growing all right, I guess. It's growing, the plant is growing big, but it doesn't have many blossoms. But first time planting it, so we'll see how it's gonna do and if I'm gonna plant it again next year. So far, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not very satisfied. I just come time to time and cut off the suckers from the plant so the plant can have more energy towards the fruits instead of trying to grow more branches and branching out. I just come out and just clean them every 4 days, just like that. And that is another cilantro plant, or they call it culantro. It was a different species. I wanted to see how it goes, but it died after 2 weeks and I bought it for $5. Waste of money. I'm never gonna buy it again. This is a cantaloupe plant. It's a fruit. It's very sweet and my first time planting it ever. And let's see if I can have two or three fruits this year if it's worth planting it and spending time on it. This is a date tomato plant. It grows in clusters, and one cluster, as you can see, have many fruits, and it's absolutely sweet and delicious. And I grow it every year. Another big juicy slicing tomato. This plant is loaded with tomatoes and it's keep falling. I keep tying it up. It's doing great. Some more basil. I heard that if you plant basil next to a tomato plant, it keeps a pest away from them because of the strong smell of it. And I planted some zinnia just for some color to attract pollinators. This tomato plant is called red robin. It grows very small. They say it's good for container for your patio for a small pot. I plant it every year. The harvest is not that good. It's just good to look at. I don't think I'm gonna plant it again next year. This is another cantaloupe plant. Yeah, and I'm vining them on these trellises that my husband and I built together. Just put some cattle panel and some branches on the ground. I grew like gourd like this, trellising like this, and they grow really fine. So yeah, I'm trellising them, the vines on these cattle panels, and they're very strong and resistant. So that's good. I see lots of flower blossom, but they're all male flowers, so I cannot wait to see some female flowers, so I'm gonna hand pollinate. These are some taro plant that I planted on the ground. I really like to eat the leaves with some shrimp or some dry fish. This is delicious. Even like on winter they die back, and I dig out the taro from the root and we eat the taro, and that's delicious as well. I plant taro every year. It's one of our family's favorite food. Next to the taro plant, I have some lemongrass. I grew lemongrass last year and I saved some in a water pot, and they grew some roots, and I planted again this year. Just from few plants, it's gonna grow in cluster, and end of the year I'll show you is gonna have many more lemongrass on it, and it lasts me more than a year, the harvest that I get. This is the fig tree that I bought almost 3 years ago. It grows European figs. These are white, green in color, and inside is white. They're very sweet and very juicy, and they're very big in size as well. When I was in the apartment, it used to be in the pot, but then I transferred it on the ground, and it's growing very big. I cannot be more proud. I always say I want to move and buy a new house, but I'm gonna regret having these plants on the ground and leaving them behind. This is my strawberry patch. I planted I think 5 strawberry plants. Beginning of the season, they're really cheap. I bought 5 roots for $5 and I planted them. And fun fact about strawberries, they grow these suckers and they branch out, and from one plant you can have multiple plants end of the year. In here I have some Asian chives and chocolate mint. These Asian chives, they grow every year. You just cut them off and they're gonna regrow, and in winter they die back, but in spring they come up luscious and beautiful, and they smell amazing. They have very sweet smell of onion and also a little garlicky. On next to it I have some oregano. My first time planting oregano. I really don't like oregano, but my husband liked it on the pizza, sometime on the marinara sauce, so I just planted it. Let's see, I'm gonna try to make some recipe with it, see how I like it. And green onion, as you can see, like in every pot, I think on the corner I planted some green onion. In an Asian household, you need green onion for every dish that you cook, so you can just cut it and they just grow back. You don't need to take it out from the root, so just cut from the stalk and they're just gonna grow back. You're gonna have them almost forever. My chickens are out again and my dogs are going crazy. They want to play with them, they want to nibble on their wings, but I think my chickens are bigger than my dogs, and my dogs are scared of them. They stay quite away from them. They bark at them, but they don't dare to go near them or bite them. This is my pride and joy. This is my hydrangea plant. It grows beautiful flowers. The previous owner planted it every year I cut it back in winter, and they grow back again with new branches and new blooms when spring comes. And the flowers have such a beautiful colors, and no flowers is same to the other one. They have different colors in the same plant. Sometimes I just cut them and put them in vase inside my house, and they look beautiful. And now we are in my front yard. In my front yard, we don't have any vegetable plant because we have to keep it clean and neat, cutting the grass and taking care of the bush and the branches of the tree. But I planted some fruit tree last year. I planted these two pear tree, Asian pear tree. Only one of the plant fruited some pear, and on few pears I covered them to keep them safe from squirrels and birds. But the other one I just left it free and see how many of them gonna grow in the actual size where you can eat them and taste them, and Holden can eat them too. This is a what is it called? Plum. Yeah, that's a plum tree. I planted two plum trees. Thank God I planted two, because after doing some research, buying them, we were told that they need two or more plum tree, preferably different species, to get pollinated and to have plums. So we're glad that we bought two different one European, one Japanese, and I cannot wait to grow plum. I love plum. Unfortunately, my husband is allergic to plum, but I love them, and I hope my son loves them too. And so mom and son can eat it together.